What will happen if I don't get my degree? What will happen to me if I don't get that job? What? Bro, if I had the ability to predict my future, I would be a millionaire. And so would every person in this entire world. Let me tell you something, man. It is impossible for you and I to predict what's going to happen tomorrow. It's impossible. We were not built that way. But what we can do is we can prepare for the future based on what our heart truly desires. We all make these plans. I'll tell you something, man. I used to make these really, really crazy sort of plans. I was like, by the time I'm 25, I'm going to find a really beautiful girl and I'm going to date her for like 3 years. And then after that, I'm going to have my first kid at age 28. And, this was my plan that I laid out for myself while I was in university. And then after that, things changed. I lost my mom. My mom never actually got to see me graduate, which is so ironic because she actually wanted me to study computer science in the first place because she felt that computer science was a very stable profession. And guys, I'm talking about, mid 2010s, late 2010s, back before ChatGPT came and fucking why can't I fucking say that word? Infiltrated. That's what I was trying to say. Before AI took over this world, tech was a very booming sector at one point in time. But then I graduated, and by the time I graduated, she was not there with me. And oddly enough, I didn't even study computer science by the time I graduated. I actually switched my major, and my mom was like super duper scared about that. She was like, what are you doing? Like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on with you? What are you doing, bro? And she was right, because I wanted to study digital media at that time. That was the major that I wanted to switch into. And, now we know that content creation and skills like graphic design and video editing, these creative digital skills are very much so in demand. But tech jobs right now are in danger, right? Because of AI. So isn't that funny just how the tables turned like that? Like it just blows my mind. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Did I make the right decision according to my mom at that time by switching my major into digital media? No, my mom thought that it was a bad decision. And a lot of people, even some of my friends, were like, bro, you were in computer science for 2 years. Why didn't you just stay the course? You know what I'm saying? That's the easiest way to graduate and, and get a degree and move on with your life and get a job. And by the time I graduated, I had to spend a little bit of extra time in university. I had to spend 5 years as opposed to the traditional bachelor's of arts programs, where any bachelor's programs is roughly going to be 4 years. For me, it was 5 years by the time I graduated. And everyone was saying the right thing, but guess what happened? AI, nobody could see AI coming in and change. Like, bro, AI changed everything when it came to the tech world. Nobody could see AI coming, right? Nobody could see AI infiltrating. There's that fucking word again. It's such fucking, I said it right this time, so yay! Anyways, but nobody could actually see AI coming in and taking away the jobs of programmers, because now AI can actually write certain sections of code. So again, I don't think that all tech jobs are in danger, but I think a good portion of them, they have to kind of diversify their skill sets. And I think that's what you can do. In order to prepare, you have to diversify your skills. That is the number one thing that you can do, is diversify. As you have a job or you're studying something, for example, in university or college, whatever the case might be, feel free to learn additional skills to prepare yourself and be there for the ones that you love. That is another really important thing. Unfortunately, before my mom passed, bro, things were not the best in my house. You know what I'm saying? I've always had a very difficult relationship with my dad, and now it's, now I'm kind of working through it, and me and my dad are like super, super tight now. But before, it was really, really bad, and we had a lot of arguments. And when we had these arguments, bro, my mom was the middleman who got caught in between. So I kind of I felt really guilty. I was like, you know what? I do not want to cause any more stress to my mom, so I'm just going to remove myself out of the equation, because if I'm there and my dad is fighting and my mom is getting stuck, it's the easy solution at that time was, you know what, I'm going to just visit my parents less. Like when I went to university, I was visiting my parents pretty much every 1 1 to 2 weeks. Every 1 to 2 weeks, I was back home in Mississauga, and then on the weekends, I used to come and visit them. But as these fights started happening, I decided to say that, you know what, I'm gonna visit my parents probably once a month or something, but I'll still stay in touch with them over the phone. Biggest mistake of my life. Biggest mistake of my life. Because I didn't know that I had a very limited amount of time, bro, with my mom. But at the same time, was it really my fault for removing myself out of that situation because there were so many fights happening in my household? Absolutely not. I don't want you to feel guilty about things that you cannot really change, especially the past, because we cannot change the past, but we can learn from the past. After going through that situation, I learned the importance of communication, of dealing with conflict, not letting conflict dominate your life, but instead looking at conflict as a turning point which you can use to find a solution or find something that you perhaps never considered before. That is the goal. You cannot change the past, but we can certainly learn from the past in order to prepare for the future, because the future is out of our hands. But if we keep learning throughout our life, the chances will be in our favor.